Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Hashtag look it up. Hashtag look it up. Hashtag look it up.
What is this? Where am I?
Let's make deposits into the bank of knowledge. Welcome back to the Trebles Show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Trebles Garcia. And I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today. And I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an amazing episode lined up with an amazing special guest. He's never been here before, but he does have his own podcast. Before anything, I want to remind you that the most important thing that you could do for the show today is word of mouth. Check us out at Rumble and YouTube. I think it's over here. It might be over here. I forgot where the button's at. Look for it, guys. Hashtag look it up. Spend 5 seconds of your day to go to the search bar, stop watching ads on TikTok, and look for the information yourself. Guys, I want to tell you something. I want you guys to practice being humble, but don't you dare be invisible. Drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Mad shout outs to Flavors of the Forest. My boys out there with the garlic dust, 15% off when you use Paranoi. I don't want to keep telling you about it because I need you guys to taste it. All right, guys? Make sure you check out Flavors of the Forest. The description's on the show. And also, the link is on the description of the show. Sorry. And I also want to tell everybody about Flash from Flashy_News1, my political analyst. He's no longer part of the show, but he is starting his own show that I'm producing and started producing today as of December, 9th? December 8th. So keep an eye out for that. The YouTube channel is already opened, and he is dropping bombs of knowledge every single day on his Instagram account. Matt, shout outs to Flash. He is my brother. He's a patriot. He's a father. He's a business owner, and he is giving you the best information possible. We're not first with the information, but we are the ones giving you the information that is right, that it's correct, non-biased, non-emotionally driven, not creating a freaking biased, structured, corrupted mentality type of emotionally driven bullshit information. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's drop bombs and let's jump in from the deep end of the pool and set the freaking mood. My next special guest has never been here before. He has his own show called The Broken Truth. Garrett, what's up, Garrett? How you doing today?
Fantastic, man. Thanks for the opportunity to come on the show. Like you were saying, I'm Garrett. I'm host of the Broken Truth podcast. We dive into hidden mysteries, literally from the dawn of time. We just wrapped up season 1, which is the general conspiracy realm of kind of getting into the mainstream of conspiracy theories. We're jumping into season 2 starting this week on Thursday. That's going to be the actual dawn of time with ancient culture. And all that hidden mystery that goes with it. So it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed creating content, and thanks for having me on your show.
The hidden culture. Let me fix my mic real quick. Wait. So I heard you're so that means you're a history buff. You like yourself some history then.
I do love some history, and you know what? I kick myself in the ass every time because in high school, I absolutely hated school. I hated history class. It's just lectures. It was never my thing, right? Mm-hmm. But then as I became more attuned to the conspiracy culture and the conspiracy world, you realize history is a very important part, but not the part that the history books teach, the part that it lies within the shadows. And once you uncover those shadows, you realize that the world around us is a bunch of lies.
You know what's funny, bro? My boy, again, from Flash_News1, he goes, time doesn't repeat itself, but it does echo. Oh, I love that saying.
That is a beautiful saying.
Yeah, man. All right, bro. Check this out. So let's not. Okay, it's gonna go to conspiracy route. I know, guys. I know you guys are like fucking Angel, man. You always talk some stupid shit. I know. Sorry, you're here though. You're watching it. Either way, the point is, let's do some history shit. You said season 2 is gonna be jam packed with ancient civilizations. What is your favorite time in the past? Your favorite civilization that has impacted your life, and how have you weaponized it?
So, how have I weaponized it? I don't know if...
Right, because history, right?
Yeah. So I'm not sure if the ancient history directly correlates to our modern era. I'm not sure if like you were saying, how have I used it in today's modern culture?
For example,
but in terms...
I'm sorry if I interrupted, saying, okay, well, I've seen things happen. I've seen patterns. How has it impacted your life to not behave in a certain manner? Pick up on certain habits, read through the lines with the governments, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I think you would go directly to Operation High Jump because that would tie directly into that ancient history from like the Lost Empire of Atlantis or Lemuria or Mu or the Great Flood, the Younger Dryas theory.
Mm,
All these things tie into the concept of Antarctica. Antarctica being lower water levels at one point that were once explored by humans prior to humans even being a thing in our modern history books. But the thing here is when you dig into Antarctica and you get into Operation High Jump, you get into some really interesting topics because this was around the World War II era. You had the British and the U.S. that went toward Antarctica because supposedly there was some sort of Nazi base or whatever in Antarctica. Well, they go down there and then they get turned around. There's sightings of UFOs or metal objects that just appeared out of the water and all sorts of weird stuff that occurred. So the question in terms of how it impacts my life today and how I let it affect me, um, at the end of the day, I firmly believe that the government and all forms of mass media and everything are spewing you a bunch of heinous nonsense.
mm,
And you really just need to ignore it and kind of draw your own conclusions. Now, it's unfortunate because we have social media
uh,
that feeds us what we want to see, what it knows we're going to believe based off the algorithmic content, right?
mm,
Um, your algorithm is probably different from mine, different from my mother's, different from my family. And
mm,
it pitches you whatever you want to see. So you can't believe that either. So the question
mhm,
becomes, what can you believe? And the reality is nothing. And that's the unfortunate part. So the deeper I dig into this, the more the question I ask myself is why? Why is all of this stuff covered? At the end of the day, does it truly matter if the reality of the history as it's told comes out?
mm.
Which I don't think it does matter. Like, does it affect someone? The only one who's going to affect is the shadow powers at play at the end of the day, because they're protecting something, or at least they think they are.
I have to agree 1000%. The show used to be called Paranoi Radio, and it was revolved around only conspiracy theories that were dark. Every conspiracy theory gets dark. Every conspiracy theory attacks the spiritual realm. It kind of directs you back to the spirituality. And I'm like, what am I doing with this information? How am I making things different? How am I doing the research and bringing it up to you guys, or even sometimes regurgitating what other people said, helping you? How is talking about Michelle Obama's dick gonna help you become a better person? Yeah, it's gonna probably crack up. We're probably laughing right now, right? But how is it gonna make your life different? How is it gonna make your kids' life different? And it's true, bro. So out of everything that you said, though, I want to go back to the high jump situation. That's your favorite conspiracy theory?
I think that is just because it ties directly into the ancient lineage and the framework that they were able to map out during that time, given their technology, directly into our modern lineage as of almost 50 years ago at this point. So that's the most modern theory that we have that we can tie back to that.
Break that down. You're telling me that something ancient was awakened in Antarctica, not necessarily aliens? Or what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at the map of Piri Rice back in 1513, I believe, is when this map was created by the man Piri Rice. The map completely depicted Antarctica prior to it being the frozen realm that it is today. So this was before the deluge.
Hmm.
And there's all these theories of how the globe shifts and whatever happened during the cataclysm. But
Mhm.
regardless, they had the technology at the time to explore the world via boat, right? And document history latitude like via latitude and longitude that we have today in our modern era. And it doesn't make sense. Did this come from aliens? Did this come from some supernatural power? The world may never know at the end of the day. But again, in terms of that hidden history, that directly ties to the Piri Rice map. And there's something in Antarctica that's being protected from the dawn of time
Hmm.
up until the generation of World War II.
Holy snap. Break it down. Okay. Tell me more. I know high jump. I know the basics of high jump. It's a very traditional conspiracy theory that as a conspiracy theorist, you want to look at it. You're like, oh, I can entertain this idea. And you're like, okay, well, then the Nazis, aliens, mediums, Palladians, and then you start talking about all this crazy stuff, right? You're like, okay, but you're tying it to the ancient world. What's under there? According to your research, based on what you found, what do you think happened?
So, if we're going to tie this into the grand concept of conspiracy theory, I think that, well, let's backtrack a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, based on my research and what I found, what the history says is that at one point, Antarctica was a green land filled with rivers, jungles, mountains, and everything. It's now
Okay.
buried under the ocean by about 400 feet and a mile thick of glaciers. But with our modern technology, we've been able to scan the ocean floor. They've done ice hole drilling, and they have taken the bottom floor of the ocean. And that sediment is the exact same sediment that you find in rivers. That's the only way this sediment is formed is through rivers, meaning that this is real. So at one point, Antarctica was this green land without glaciers, without being a frozen realm. But what we know today is a frozen realm. Now, why it's tied into World War II, why the Germans were so over their heels with it, I don't know. But like I said, the Europe and us during the World War II era went into Antarctica during Operation High Jump. They turned around. All that information was classified. As of recently, it was declassified as in terms of the mission. But we don't really get answers as to what happened, what they found, or the reality of the situation. We have some quotes from various generals and people who were on the mission who said that they saw beings. They saw these UFOs, as we would consider them, rise out from the oceans. And a lot of weird stuff happened on the mission that turned them around. But tying it back into general conspiracy as a whole, you get the concept of the flat earth theory. And I'm not sure if you're a flat earther at all. I wouldn't consider myself a flat earther. I really consider more of like the dome theory. So if you look at a snow globe, the bottom of it's flat, but the top of it is a spherical shape. So if the bottom of it's flat, there has to be an end at some point. And if Antarctica is that end, then you would have the theory of the ice walls. So
I like it.
I don't know if that
Operation
answers your
Fishbowl.
question, but
It does. Okay, well, it opens other doors, right? It doesn't answer,
Yeah.
but it does open other doors where we could take the conversation. Okay, so in the beginning of the show, I forgot to tell you this. Please let them know where they can find you one time, and then we're gonna dedicate this episode to a special someone that just followed us right now.
Yeah, so where you can find me is linktree.com / the broken truth, or I don't even know. I think it's like link.tree, but you can follow us on Instagram at the broken truth, and the link tree's in the bio.
That's right. You're also going to be able to find it on the description of the show. This episode goes out to Kaylee. Kaya. Sorry, I butchered your name. Mad love and respect. Thank you so much for just following us on Instagram, for commenting, and think you sent me something political, but whatever it is, this episode goes out to you. Thank you so much for engaging. It means the world for every single person to actually take the time and drop a comment or tell me anything at all. I try to get to everybody's DMs as much as possible and as fast as possible. All right, dog, check this out. So you said I'm not a flat earther. I'm more of a simulated earth. I believe in the electric field. I believe trees are portals, and I have a whole presentation on it, and it's about to be dropped here on the show, guys. I know I've taken forever, but by the time this episode comes out, it's already out, basically. So I think everything that you imagine of, kind of like the placebo effect, if you have enough people to believe something exists, it will be. It creates, it manifests, it materializes. You bring it, you attract it, and you create it. Which is why I believe that concrete keeps us at a low frequency, which is why it's called the concrete jungle. Why is it that you feel free, amped, energized, rooted, grounded in the jungle? Because the energy that the jungle pulsates, the organic algorithm, the heartbeat of the earth, the electronic fields around you power your body from the ground up your spine, to your brain, and then all the juices flow out of your brain, all the chemicals, right? You get balanced. Why is it that everybody in the concrete jungle is hormonally? Is that the word? Is that the word I'm trying to look for? I'm Beaner. I'm sorry, guys. My rough freaking translation here is kicking in. You are disbalanced hormonally. Is that the word? That's the word, right? Am I saying it correctly?
That explains it. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody's fucked. Everybody's induced. Everybody's seduced. Everybody is on low frequencies, doing low frequency habits, drinking, juicing, drugs, sex, eating rotten food, can't even grow your food, can't even collect rainwater because it's illegal, etc., etc. In the concrete jungle, anything and everything that manifests is low frequency bullshit. Basically, what I'm saying. Get what I'm saying? So I believe that if we are lied to about time, about light, about how we can protect, profess, and provide for our family, that we lose the connection with divinity, with Jesus. And that makes our world corruptible. You are able to get lied to a lot easier. You are able to get lied to and then put into fear mode a lot easier and manipulated throughout time. It's been happening. Divide and conquer, give them a problem, present a solution later, and sell them the solution. And then we have Stockholm syndrome. I've said this plenty of times on the show. You chip yourself and then you chip your kids with it, and you're happy about it. And you're addicted about it. And you love being addicted. You love being enslaved by your enslaver. You see what I'm saying, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So I do believe that they're lying about where we live, but I do not think it's a flat earth. I don't think there's enough people that believe in the flat earth to make it flat. And
That's fair.
the world will completely be globe still until the end of time, if God allows, because there's more people that believe in Star Wars and the globes and all the little 366,000 miles that you're floating around the star, and people believe that a lot more than believe in flat Earth. So it's always going to be globe Earth. But if it switches, if the spectrum changed, and there was more people that believed in flat Earth, it would become flat. There would be more manifested truth. And not theories anymore. Tangible, materialized truth that you can say, "Oh, damn, it's flat." So I think everybody has I think we have the power to make the world what you want it to be. Quite frankly.
Oh, that's completely fair. And I really appreciate you brought up the concept of grounding, because that's so important. Like you were saying, in this concrete jungle, it's a prison. We're trapped in our technology. We're trapped in these cities. We're trapped around this concrete jungle, literally. And it doesn't allow our natural frequency to grow. And when you look at the concept of and it being a realm that is 90% undiscovered and unusable by us as humans, when you get into the concept of grounding and you take your shoes off when you're in the sand, when you're out in the mountains, when you're able to take in all of the surroundings, you unlock that grounding, and the natural spiritual flow that you are able to use is so much greater. And then you get into some more concepts through meditation, such as the idea of astral projection and stuff like that, and unlocking the realm
which has been weaponized, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No, through Operation Stargate specifically.
I've seen that you had an episode on that, and I wanted to bring that in towards the end, but go ahead. It's perfect timing. Okay, Stargate. Is this the one where they were trying to find Hitler's bunker using telepathy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So during the World War II and then into the 60s, we have all this conspiratorial realm. In the 1960s, the CIA coined the term conspiracy theory to protect any of their ideas that got out to the public, right? So the term conspiracy theory is bullshit, to say the least. What a conspiracy theory really is an alternative way of thinking. An alternative way of thinking that, when it comes to fruition, is actually the truth at the end of the day that's just being buried by the shadows at play. So Operation Stargate was exactly that. It was the telepathy concept behind being able to sit in some military base somewhere, some office, and be able to depict some sort of foreign place, bunker, object, whatever. And from what I researched, about a quarter of the time, it was accurate.
Hmm.
So I mean, 25% out of 100% of your operations being successful. I mean, for such a strung out concept, that's pretty nice.
What a strong out concept is exactly what I would say. I have, if they lied to us, again, you said somewhere in a bunker. Maybe. Have you watched X-Men?
Yeah.
You've seen how Professor X gets into this like hive, I think. He puts on his helmet and he could identify other mutants telepathically,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And he points them out on the map and we could go look for them and he could go recruit them, right? Before Magneto gets to him. Same thing. They've been telling you things that they've been doing through entertainment because they
And
have
that's
to tell you
exactly
what
the
they are.
point of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the concept of the Freemasons think that us as laymen are too stupid to believe whatever it be that they put in front of our eyes. So through
Hmm.
Hollywood and through the
Hmm.
Freemasons, what's actually going on in our society is put right before us. But many of us believe it as science fiction rather than the reality at play.
Hmm. Hmm. And we love it. And we love
We
it.
love it. We love it. I mean, I believe it full fucking thrown, dude. Like when you
Yeah.
when you get into the concept of the Avengers and Thor and all this Marvel stuff, like
Hmm.
I don't think it's too far off. I think at some point during either ancient history or a modern era, such as Captain
Hmm.
America is the exact same concept of during World War II that the Germans were doing to try to get this superpower of a soldier. The exact thing. It's just put into Hollywood as science fiction.
I like the part where goes where what's his name goes. Tony Stark goes. Everything special about you came out of a bottle. It's true, but I mean, it's everything that they've told us has some type of tangible truth behind it, some truth telling behind it. So high jump, you think the Earth is has a dome,
Yeah, like a snow globe.
firmament, and that's an opening to a second to a hollow. Do you think does it go that far?
I don't know. I want to dive into that. I have not got there in terms of the hollow earth theory. I know it's a huge theory. And honestly, you were mentioning that you're very spiritual based in terms of biblical ideology, right?
Mhm.
And during the production of this podcast, I have grown so much in faith. And honestly, all of this ties directly to what the proof of faith would be. And
Mhm.
because of that, I started a Bible study. And every Saturday at 3 p.m., I drop a chapter deep dive Bible study. So I'm going to go through the entire Bible chapter by chapter. And it's been amazing. And kind of tying that in, like from the dawn of time to the Nephilim to the Watchers to whatever you want to call it, stuff that's going on. And I think it honestly all ties back to this biblical ideology.
You think you think that the other books that they took out the Bible. I'm in Samuel right now, by the way. We were breaking down Samuel this morning. Some weird stuff in there. Necromancy, all that stuff. Historically, I feel like no, no, no. What I'm trying to piece together is that the three magi's were not there to, and I know this didn't happen in Samuel, but I feel like they were there to murder Jesus. How? Why? Well, I'm tell you why. Some of the first depictions of the magi were wearing Phrygian hats, Roman art, and these guys came and they gave Jesus all of the recipes for necromancy. It was not recipes only for like gifts. They were bringing them gifts. But they were bringing stuff that you use when you're about to do a ritual of necromancy. Then I'm like, okay, well, let me look into that. How many times can you do necromancy? The Bible says very strictly they do not want you to practice conversations with mediums where you can talk with other spirits and realms and or practice necromancy. They're like, okay, what the heck? But in Samuel, there's this place, this portion where Samuel talks. he is brought forth by a king through a medium. And I'm like, wait, why is that allowed? It's one of the 4 times that it's been allowed. It was allowed with Elijah, Moses, and it was allowed with him. And I think there was another appearance later on in New Testament. So there's only 4 times in the Bible that you can say that necromancy was a one-time event that God allowed, and it had to be with some type of prophet. It couldn't be just a regular dude because mediums do not have access to talk to other people that have passed or went to sleep, to the eternal sleep, which is death. And I'm like, what the heck? So, and then I started looking at the necromancy and breaking down the Bible. And it's like, it's true. Every single conspiracy theory that you engage with, you'll see that it goes a full loop back to spirituality. It doesn't even matter if you talk about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you talk about. You could break it down, do the research. I did the research recently for tree portals, on the acacia tree, on the olive tree. Biblical. It's biblical. And it goes back and forth from science. That's where science and myth and the Bible crashes that point, bro. And I'm like, holy snap. You cannot imagine the connections with science and the times that the Bible's telling you there's some message here with wood. It's a conductor, it's a module. Dude, it is nuts, bro. The bark, the minerals, everything, the veins of the bark of the tree. It's biblical. The Ark of the Covenant, not the Ark, the Ark was created with the acacia tree. And the acacia tree today is used in solar panels. Parts of the acacia tree, minerals that they pull out of the acacia tree is used in solar panels for manuals, for modules, and for today technology to amplify electricity. Wow. I'm like, wait, bro, what the crap? Dude, it is deep. So yeah, man, I think honestly that breaking the Bible open, right? And try to understand the conspiracy theory by actually just trying to have an intimate relationship with God connects you a lot deeper.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Shoot, you mentioned something and I was going to expand on it and I lost my train of thought.
Sorry if I go on a rant, bro. It's just, we didn't prep anything today.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, man.
No, you hit something on the head and I was going to mention it and I forget what it was.
No. Well, he remembers, ladies and gentlemen. I want to remind you to make sure you check out Garrett at The Broken Truth. Some of the truths today that we've been telling you have been broken in different pieces, but I promise you at the end of the show, you're going to feel enlightened and you're going to have an uplifting experience because we're here to talk about how to make your life better. Like I was telling Garrett when I was introducing myself right now a couple moments ago before we started, I was telling him like I'm the only reason why I'm this version of myself at my best behavior, the best father I can, the best husband is because I was introduced to Jesus. And I think it's very important that we amplify you cannot change the world. Doesn't matter who you voted for. Doesn't matter how many Q drops you read, or it doesn't matter how many conspiracy theories you know at the top of your head. It doesn't matter if you find out that, the world is ruled by freaking blizzards from the hollow earth that came out of Antarctica or wherever. Because Garrett thinks it's flat or whatever. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what really is important is that you change your household, your habits, your train of thought, and you start engaging in a positive manner within your home where your 2 feet lay. That's all you have control in. Oh, yeah.
I remembered.
There it is.
There it is.
I knew it was going to come
That's
back.
all I needed. So you got into the thought of exploring the spiritual realm and how in the Bible it talks not to do so, right? Mm-hmm. So years ago, probably about 3 to 5 years ago at this point, well, I'm still super into the spiritual realm now, but this steered me completely clear of it. So I'm in Las Vegas. There are tons of ghost towns, old mining towns. From the gold rush, the silver rush, all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Well, there's a town about 2.5 hours from me called Rhyolite. This is an old town. I love going there. It's completely pitch black, away from all of the lights and the light pollution, so you literally see the galaxy. You can take a picture with your phone That's how clear it is.
Hmm.
So at the time, a couple buddies and I wanted to go out there, and we wanted to do some sort of seance to see if we could talk to the spiritual realm out there, right? So we bring all the candles and we start driving out there. Well, we get out there and the desert has some crazy winds. We were probably dealing with some like 40-mile-an-hour winds. And we're like, well, like, let's just explore before we kind of get into this. So we go up to some of the mine entrances, we go through some of the old buildings, and the winds are just nuts. We're like, all right, well, there's a graveyard in the town. So let's go over to the graveyard. That's probably the perfect spot for this. We drive up to the graveyard. And I kid you not, these 40-mile-an-hour winds completely stopped. Dead silent and pitch black.
Holy
This
snap.
town literally just stopped. We all got chills and we're like, we probably should not do this because winds don't just stop. They calm. They don't just stop. But why did 40-mile-an-hour winds just come to a halt? And it left all of us speechless. We were like, yeah, we're not doing this. So with the wind stopped, we just kind of explored the graveyard, read some of the gravestones, and that was it. But we left after that. Then while we're leaving, crazy
Oh,
enough.
here it is. I knew it.
Yeah, while we're leaving, I'm driving, and obviously the desert has all sorts of animals, right?
Mhm, mhm.
But we're driving out, and all of a sudden, there's a rattlesnake crossing the road. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what a biblical tie to the concept of the serpent.
I like it. What do you think it was?
Well, it was actually a
was-
rattlesnake.
No, but do you think it was God trying to tell you get the hell out of here?
You know, I haven't speculated too much on it, but given the wind completely stopped and we saw it as we were leaving, yeah, I think it was a message saying, "Hey, look, this is the reality of the negative, sinful spiritual realm that exists, and there's no need to explore it. This is proof in and of itself that it does exist."
Let's hypothetically say you guys did something and stayed there long enough and somebody got bitten by a rattlesnake or even worse, paranormally activated or attached. These things happen, bro.
Oh, they do.
Mhm. We lack the requisite for understanding or for respecting these things. We do. At the end of the day, we do, bro. Um, yo, what's next for your show? What are you working on? What's gonna be one of the first episodes in the historical part of the season 2?
So Atlantis drops Thursday at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah.
I think it's about 55 episodes in season 2. But it's literally from the dawn of time being Atlantis, um, kind of up until the modern era, tying all of it in. So we have Atlantis, we have, like I said, Lemuria and Mu. There's so many different concepts that tie into this. The Genesis 6 conspiracy. Um, I'm not sure if we're going to tie in the Book of Enoch, but I'll explain that in my Bible study series regardless. I kind of have like 3 different things going on at once. So my main content is season 2, which is going to start on Thursday. Every Friday, I drop a weekly intelligence brief. So major news throughout the globe, just since many people don't listen to modern media, and then the Bible study series on Saturday. So kind of 3 things running at once. But yeah, season 2 drops
But it gives you
Thursday.
content. It keeps you busy, keeps you on
Oh,
your
yeah.
toes and consistent, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You are, how old are you, bro?
I'm
You don't mind me
25.
asking? You're freaking young, dude.
I am.
You got a good head on your shoulders, bro. At 25, I was still raving. You have a good, you got a good mentality and a sense of direction. And I pray that everything that you do becomes wealth and health for your family and you, bro. And everything that you touch just becomes gold.
I appreciate that.
I see a bright future and freaking smart. Now, where can people find you? And I do have one last question on the way out. What is your favorite emotion?
Oh, favorite emotion. It's gonna sound strange, but I think suspense.
Ooh, you're the first one that ever said that, okay?
Yeah.
Break it
And
down.
and
Why do you think?
Yeah, my reason for suspense is because it's kind of like you're waiting for Christmas morning, right? Oh, I think my computer froze.
I can hear you. I can see you're still moving over here.
I'm still moving? Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason on my end, it completely messed up. But my reason for suspense is it's kind of like waiting for Christmas morning. You don't know what's coming. And when you tie that into conspiracy, when you tie that into potentially making more money in your career, when you tie that into looking forward to your future, you never know what's coming. So when you look forward to that moment of suspense, when whatever comes, you're not expecting it. You just take it as reality and you can roll with it.
That's deep. That's deep. I had Megan, what's her last name? What's her last name? Oh, crap. I forgot her last name. Snap. She's gonna kick my ass. Anyway, she's the hostess of the Inferno Machine. Wow. That chick blows us out of the water, bro. She's just uber smart, extremely talented. Ex-Fed. She used to do intelligence, military. The girl's amazing. I'm gonna get you guys connected. You never know. You never know. She said something. She said fear, and I was like, damn. I was like, what the heck?
Ah.
She goes, because in fear, you're never comfortable. You're always trying to find a way out. You're in survival mode, and that the best versions of you, either it's either gonna break you or it's gonna make you. And I was like, damn, that one's deep. You know, I love it.
No, that's really deep.
Yeah, suspense also is a great one, dude. Thank you so much. Where can people find you? Let's go.
Yeah, once again, Linktree / The Broken Truth. I'm not sure the exact Linktree link. I think it's like link.tree or something. But regardless, that's where you can find all my stuff. On Instagram, it's at The Broken Truth Podcast. And then in my bio is that Linktree link.
Ladies and gentlemen, this episode was very chill. I was calm. I love these episodes because we get to introduce the people with zero agenda. I call it the Conspiracy Podcast on Training Wheels because he's giving an introduction of what he does. He's breaking down the compartments of Bible studying and doing research, and also introducing what the media has for you at the same time. He has content. He's being consistent, and he has amazing posts on Instagram. Make sure you check him out in the description of the show, please. And guys, again, I don't want you guys to be out there just hiding in the freaking in the shadows watching ass on TikTok. Take 5 seconds of your day to do the research yourself. Hashtag look it up. Also, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Peace. Thank you, bro. Woo! And we're not done just yet.